It started quietly, almost gently. A drop in temperature, a longer night, colder mornings that no one thought much about. Until one day, the warmth never came back. Before everything fell apart. Era lived a simple life. She wasn't special. She wasn't powerful. Just someone who trusted too as she trusted Lila. The kind of friend who always smiled, always stayed close, always knew exactly what to say. Too perfect. And she loved Ken, someone she believed would stand beside her, no matter what happened. Someone she thought would choose her. But some things are already broken, long before you notice. When the world began to freeze, people showed who they really were. Food became scarce. Heat became power. And survival became a privilege. Era did everything she could. She walked through the cold, hands shaking, breath fading into the air, carrying supplies that weren't even for herself. She endured the freezing nights just to keep them alive. But no one remembers sacrifice when there's someone else telling a better story. Lila spoke first, soft voice, convincing words, and somehow everything Era had done became hers. The credit, the trust, the gratitude, all of it are gone. Era tried to speak, tried to explain, but the moment passed before anyone even looked her way, because the truth was never meant to be heard. Ken already knew. The family already knew. And Lila was never really her friend. Era stood in front of the door. The silence around her was strange. Too still like the world itself was holding its breath. She frowned slightly, her chest tightening for reasons she couldn't explain. Ken was supposed to be inside. So, what's Lila? Lila started to cry, like she was the victim. Ken gets mad. He grabbed my arm and led me out the door. By the time Era understood everything, it was already too late. The door closed in front of her, without hesitation. Warmth taken away in an instant. Outside, the cold wasn't just painful, it was silent, endless, unforgiving. And as the world slowly faded into white, only one thought remained. Why? And just before the darkness took her, Era made a promise. If she was ever given another chance, she wouldn't beg, she wouldn't trust, she wouldn't forgive. This time, she would remember everything. The heavens took pity on her. When he opened her eyes, the weather went back a year before. Climate change? This time, her eyes no longer held warmth, only something colder, something sharper. This time, Era won't be the victim. Before the world turned cold, Era already knew. While everyone else was living in peace, she was the only one preparing for what was coming. She didn't hesitate, no matter the cost. She chose to prepare, even if it meant stepping into the dark. Piece by piece, she built a place where she could survive. A place strong enough to withstand the end of the world. Food, water, medicine. She gathered everything she needed, while the rest of the world stayed blind. And beneath it all, she created her final safeguard, a hidden bunker filled with everything needed to survive. Power, water, control. Everything was ready. Every detail carefully planned. Era thought she was prepared for anything. But then, something changed. The temperature dropped faster than anyone expected. At first, no one understood what was happening, until it was too late. This was the disaster she saw coming. And this time, the world didn't just change, it froze. The world froze, and survival became a privilege.
Meanwhile, they were still living like nothing would change. He called her, expecting her to answer like always, but this time, she didn't. so they stopped trying. They chose comfort over concern.
She's probably hungry by now.
She deserves it for leaving without a word.
While they judged her, the world outside was getting worse, but they didn't notice until it was too late. The food was gone. Hunger came quietly, but it didn't leave. And for the first time, they felt fear. Far away, Era watched in silence. Hunger doesn't break you all at once. It slowly takes everything. And when pride finally fades, desperation takes its place. They knew exactly where to go. But what they saw felt impossible. Warmth, light, safety. They knocked like nothing had ever changed. Ken still believed she would open the door for him. But the person who stood before them was no longer the same. Her eyes held no warmth. For the first time, they were the ones asking, "We were wrong, we're sorry."
Please give us some food and water. We are starving.
I'll leave her. I'll fix everything.
But not everyone was ready to lose. In a single moment, everything broke. His mother went into shock and had a heart attack, and then passed out. And silence followed. And in the end, justice came too late. She lost everything, just like she once took from someone else. Hera didn't move, didn't speak. She simply watched. And finally, I found peace.